Friends, you're back with Miss Mo from Miss Mo's Vegan Kitchen, and we are making our mac and dogs. So we have our macaroni and peas cooked here now, and I'm going to keep one oven mitt on. We're going to throw in our crisped up garlic, onions, and hot dogs. Throw in our green onions. And now we're going to put the cheese sauce. Sometimes I'll make this with the potato carrot cheese, which you can look for that online. I think the website is My Vegan Yumminess or Vegan Yumminess, either one. But there's many of them online. It's pretty basic. They're all the same, but each one has its own little twist on it. As Quang Tran says, my twist, my take. I love him. Another mukbanger and chef, if anybody likes to watch those kind of cooking shows. He's awesome, and he lives in, I want to say Alberta? So that's Western Canada. Nowhere close to us. I wish it was close to us. I want to travel out west. I really do. Okay. Now we're just going to stir that together. We could use probably like 8 times more cheese sauce, but we only had what we had. So, it is what it is, friends. And once it heats up, as you can tell, it kind of goes more liquidy. Once it's...
There should be 2 packets of cheese sauce in there.
There was 1 and a bit because we used it yesterday when you made the cheesy mayo.
Right.
Or mayo-y cheese. There you go, friends. Alright. So now, we can serve it up. Serve it up. Seriously? Ta-da. Want the ketchup?
Yep.
It's not going to be cold yet.
Definitely.
Does anybody else like their ketchup cold? I love ketchup cold.
I don't know how people can have warm ketchup.
I know, it's kind of gross.
It's
too.
gross.
It goes liquidy and it's just nasty. Okay. Oh, look at all the yummy peas. Huh?
Why are you not eating out of a bowl?
Because then they can see what I'm eating. And if I have to take it with me, I can just pop a lid on it and go.
Right. I need a fork.
Yes, I know. Hold on. I'm going out, friends, so I have to be somewhere by 7. So this might be a quick mukbang. But we'll get through it. Okay, bringing you over. Hello, friends. Oh! We don't want to be showcasing that, do we? Mom.
Should be more careful.
Oh. Is that good?
We don't have the TV on today.
That's okay.
I need some water.
Some what?
Water.
So go get some. I got you everything else. You can get water. Jeez. I'm actually going to have some ketchup. Little bit.
Did you get me a fork?
Yeah, right here. Don't act so rude either.
No, but like I was waiting for my fork.
Ah, whatever.
You said you would get me a fork, and you said,
Yeah, I
I'll
know.
get you a fork. And then you just sat down and I was
Well,
like,
I thought it was for me.
I can't eat because I don't have anything to eat with.
He could have gotten up himself, but he doesn't want to be on camera. Okay. Cheers, my friends. Cheers, my kid. Cheers.
Don't touch it. I don't want to get all my ketchup all over yours. I put more ketchup than you did.
Mm. So good, friends. The caramelized onions and garlic just add such a hit to it. Now, if you like hot sauce, what I think you should do is Axel's taking a picture of his food.
I'm sending it to Kevin.
Have it all like this. And then fry it in a frying pan with some margarine and more hot sauce. Well, not more, just hot sauce. And it's so good. You can even add, like I said, add some broccoli. Make it fun for your littles. Call it mac and cheese. Or mac and...
Trees.
Did you say mac and cheese? Mac and trees. If you want to be really fancy, you can put butternut squash or any vegetables that you like, really. You can shave some truffles on top. I don't like truffles.
No.
At all. What story should I tell today? Quick story time.
To tell them how we went shopping.
That's boring.
But the grocery store didn't have everything.
That's true. We're gonna go tomorrow to T&T because No Frills doesn't have everything. Especially, like, they have a few Chinese things, like Asian vegetables.
They have a lot of Chinese greens.
They have the Chinese greens, right? And they have sticky rice, but they didn't have, we didn't see it anyway, sesame oil, rice noodles. Like, it was weird. But it is on the smaller scale compared to the some in the No Frills, so I don't like eating fast, my friends. It bothers me. I have no hot dogs left. What in the world? Well, I like to put a whole pack of hot dogs. But somebody happened to have some beforehand. Let me tell you the story of the time that I got stung by a hornet. So, I don't know.
Oh my
Quick story time. So we're at the cottage, swimming at Balsam Lake. Most beautiful lake, by the way. Such clear water. And I'm out in the water with Axel. He's in one of those yellow baby floaty things. Because he was only, oh God, under a year old, I guess. And this massive hornet, like massive hornet. Oh my gosh. I actually heard it coming towards us, the buzzing noise. Went to go for Axel because he was in that yellow floaty thing. Must look like a big old flower in the ocean, in the water, whatever, lake. So as it's getting closer, I'm like, oh my God, what am I gonna do? So I just swatted it, and it stung me. like right here. I'd never been stung before. My mom was with us, but my mom didn't like to swim, so she was up on the shore. And within 3.5 seconds, my hand was swollen like that. There was no space between my fingers, and it was throbbing like ba-boom, 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 like your heartbeat. It was nuts. My mom's like, what happened? And I asked her if I'd ever been stung. She's like, nope. I'm like, oh, great. So I wasn't sure if it was an allergic reaction or not. So took Axel out of the water. We walked back to the cottage. It's about a, I don't know, 15-minute walk. Especially when Axel's still a baby. And my hand is going red. Yeah, it was scary. And the pain was kind of crawling up my arm. So we really did think it was an allergic reaction. My mom was like, okay, we'll call 911. But you're literally in the middle of nowhere out there. Especially 20 years ago. The ambulance was like, you know, some volunteers who lived on a side street in the next town over. If they happened to be free and not drunk, they might come and pick you up. And drive you to the hospital that was 45 minutes away. So, our neighbor, Grandma Nina, hi Grandma Nina, just so happens to be a nurse. And she used to travel all over the world to do missionary work. And her husband would be the pianist, like play piano. And she knew all of these home remedies for things because obviously, excuse me, when you're in these different parts of the world, they don't have all the medicines that we have here. So a lot of the times they have to try home remedies first, right? So, went knocking on her door. And at this point, I can't even feel my hand anymore. And I'm a little bit... Whoa!
Yeah, power's going out today.
Hi, Nana! So, well, she knows I'm talking about her.
Yeah.
So, she wasn't home. So I was like, okay, and I knew that one of her daughters was a nurse, but I wasn't sure which one. Thank gosh, it was the one that was actually there visiting. So I told them what happened, and I had my hand kind of like under my shirt because it was like, I was scared to even expose it to the air because it was so sore, so swollen, and numb.
Yeah.
It's hard to explain that something is sore and numb at the same time, but believe me, when you feel it, you know. And she was like, oh my gosh. And she said, what have you done so far? And I said, well, I have ice on it already. And I've done, I had it in the water while we were at the lake until I got Axel out of the water, but that wasn't helping anything. And she said, okay, go over to your house. Because my dad has this massive garden. And she's like, just grab some mud from the ground and put it on it. And every time that it dries out, which only takes a couple of minutes because the heat of my hand at this point is like, you know, is it permeating the air or whatever it's called? No, baby. So I go to the garden, I put some mud on it, and I go in the house, but I take like a bowl and put some mud in there to bring it in the house. And it takes about maybe 10 to 15 minutes for that mud to dry. And then I take that off and I put another slap on there. And at this point, the daughter had phoned me to ask me how it was. And I said, well, it's still like, I can't move my fingers. It's really swollen. She's like, do you want us to drive you to the hospital? I'm like, I don't know. And she was asking me if anything else was happening. And I said, no. And she said, okay, let's just hope that it's not an allergic reaction. I'm like, yeah, no kidding. So I think by the third time I put the mud on, she said, if you see anything like a little stinger, just pick it out, right? So we got the tweezers and we tried to pick it out with the tweezers and we couldn't get it. So I just used my fingernail and like pulled it out. And then I kept just applying this mud, and it took, I want to say, at least 6 hours for you to be able to see in between my fingers. So this happened in midday, like 2 o'clock-ish. By 10 o'clock in the evening, I could start to bend my fingers. It was so messed up. My dad was on a fishing trip, that's right. Because we're like, Papa's not coming home until like 3 days later or something. So if we need to go to the hospital, we really do need to either call the ambulance or ask a neighbor to take me. So she said, okay, once you get the stinger out, put the mud on it, but then put ice on it to get all the swelling down in your hand. And I was like, okay. My brother went and got me Afterbite. That did not work. That hurt like hell. So don't
Afterbite hurts.
Don't do that on a freaking hornet sting. I don't know what else it works for, but it sure doesn't work for that.
Afterbite is for like mosquito bites.
I know, but that was all they had at the pharmacy out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
So
but like honestly, it even hurts when you just put it on that.
Yeah, because isn't it ammonia?
No.
I think it's ammonia.
It's like a cream.
Yeah, but I think there's ammonia in it. Whatever it is, it's not good for a hornet sting.
I had to buy Afterbite for Alex when we went to the cottage for the mosquitoes.
Right. My nose is running.
And there was no ammonia in it.
Well, we're talking 20 years ago.
Oh, okay.
So I'm pretty sure it was pneumonia. Pneumonia.
Pneumonia.
I'm pretty sure it was ammonia. Here, you want to come on? Want to come on? Come on, baby. So, lay down. Good boy. So, lo and behold, I was petrified to go to sleep because I thought it was like my heart was going to stop in the middle of the night. So I literally just laid in bed and kept changing out the mud and kept putting fresh ice. And finally the swelling went down. By the morning, you could see like fully in between my fingers down to the bottom, but my hands were still swollen this way, puffy. But oh my gosh, that was probably, the scariest thing. But I was like, you are not stinging my son. Can you imagine if that had gotten Axel? Like, we don't know what he's allergic to at this point, because he's literally like, I think you were about 8 months old. He was born in October, so this would have been the next summer. Mm-hmm. So yeah, you would have been about 8 months old. So I am just so happy that I didn't get him and that it got me.
And so, I've never been stung before, so I don't know if I'm actually allergic to bee stings or not. Right.
Well, I mean, you wouldn't have been at that point anyway. And just so that you know, if you are allergic, every time that you get stung, the reaction can be stronger the next time. Not 100% guaranteed. So hopefully I never get stung again. All right, my friends. There's your story time for today. Thanks for joining us for dinner. I'm on my way out the door. We love you. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification button so that you know when we post a new video. Keep smiling and stay blessed. Click.